This episode of the ZuLoo Poodcast is sponsored by ZuLoo Inc., a benefit corporation dedicated to the goal of universal access to toilets, hygiene, clean water and sanitation through the power of social enterprise. Learn more at ZuLoo.com.
I have so many fantastic near miss bathroom stories or total miss bathroom stories. We've heard some great poop stories from other guests. If you have one, this is the time to share it. This is a safe space. We love this stuff.
Oh, wow.
And also no pressure.
So is that why I didn't get the questions beforehand? Suzanne?
Yeah.
Darren, what's going on here?
Yeah, we like to put you on the spot.
Welcome to the ZuLoo Poodcast, where we talk all things poop, toilets, and sanitation. Through insightful news, impact stories, and quirky humor, we aim to discuss and highlight the critical role toilets play in whisking poop out of our lives, the impact toilets have, or lack thereof, in the health and wellness of humanity, and what ZuLoo is doing to help solve the current global sanitation crisis.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another wonderful episode of the ZuLoo Poodcast. I've done quite a few of these now, and I can honestly say I'm excited to introduce every single guest we have because we're always meeting with incredible people. But today is an extra special episode because not only do we have our guests here in person, but we have two for the price of one. So excited to introduce both of our guests today, Yahosh and Vanessa Bonner. Yahosh is a motivational speaker, actor, recording artist. I found a video of him this morning singing in Korean. So that was amazing.
You did do a deep dive.
I told you. I stumped you this morning. And Vanessa has actually just been named the Utah Caseworker of the Year, which is a phenomenal recognition. And I would love to hear more about that. So I'm actually going to hand it over to you guys. Yahosh, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background. And of course, Vanessa, we want to hear from you too.
So I come from a large family. I have 7 siblings, so there's 8 of us.
From Vegas, right?
Originally from Las Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah, most of us were born in Las Vegas. My oldest sister was born in Liberia, West Africa, and my second oldest sister was born in Cincinnati. But everybody else, Las Vegas.
Okay, wonderful. Was it being so close to kind of that entertainment world that led you kind of down that path?
No, my parents are extremely spiritual, so it was kind of a let's pray and then let's walk, let's go, and so they've always just made decisions based on feel and prayer, and that's kind of what has led us from move to move. But yeah, my mom's a vocal coach, and she taught us all how to sing and all how to teach, and so I've incorporated that in my profession as a singer, motivational speaker. I'm also an athletic director at American Heritage School in American Fork, private school there.
What can't you do? I mean, this is kind of like...
Well, I do a lot of things. I'm a bad father and I'm a bad husband.
I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe that.
Just gotta drop something. No,
I saw you hugging your little ones on YouTube. It was quite adorable.
They're the cutest. But I'm glad they didn't come to this. They would tear this beautiful place down.
Yeah, I feel that.
That is true.
But yeah, and then I just go where Vanessa wants me to go.
I don't know if that's true. But
well, we're lucky that we have you both in the same space today.
Yes.
Vanessa, I would love to hear from you. You grew up in Haiti, is that correct?
Yes. So I was born and raised in Haiti. I was adopted when I was about 13 years old. So I was a little bit older. My family owned an orphanage down there in Haiti. So when my mom passed away, my family thought it would probably be better, better life, better opportunity. So then I was adopted here in Utah. Come here in October, freezing cold, and definitely a culture shock to my system.
Yes, and you were 13 at that time?
13,
okay.
Yeah. I think I speak probably a sentence of English. And so that was kind of like a whole wake-up call. But grew up and then I went to Tooele High School. So
oh my gosh, from Haiti to Tooele, I can't
Are
even
they buffaloes?
imagine.
I know the buffaloes,
Go
yes.
Bucks. Yeah.
I know. Haiti to Tooele,
So she likes reggae and country music.
Yes. You are the most well-rounded Utah.
I literally love country music. I remember we were in the car when I was dating Yahosh. I was driving and I turned on my country music and he's like,
what?
I was like, you're so funny. And then she started singing and I was like, you know the song? And you know this next song? You know all these songs?
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
And then I went to University of Utah, got my degree in psychology. I'm currently a social worker for the state of Utah. I work with DCFS. I work with foster youth in in the system, trying to help them transition into adult living. So, of course, mental health is something that is very important to me. And in my country, I love my country. I have most of my family still live in Haiti. So I keep in contact and I help at the orphanage the best that I can. So, but yeah, it's just a little bit.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Got 4 kids, like Yahosh says. So.
Shout out to Foyer That's the orphanage that
so my
your
aunts,
aunt,
my family all run it. It's a family-owned orphanage, and they just love to help. So I think because of the example that I had with them, I was just like, I want to do something
it's in her DNA.
different. Yeah.
I imagine you have a unique perspective on children that are facing really difficult conditions because you had that big transition.
Yeah.
You know, you came from a country that probably could not be more opposite than where you ended up.
Oh, yeah.
And you had to do that at such a, during those formative years, a preteen, and especially for a girl, there's all kinds of things going on.
Oh, yeah.
So I can see why, maybe you felt called to that or led to that. And tell us, Caseworker of the Year. What exactly does that mean? And
yeah, so, and it's true. I think for me, I was adopted, and unfortunately, just like the kids that are adopted, there's challenges. So my adoption story wasn't as beautiful as it's supposed to be. So there was a lot of neglect, abuse. And then I think also that aspect helped me go and work in this system to help this foster youth. And a lot of the kids that I work with are kids that are fell adoption at an older age.
Yeah.
And so being able to kind of relate to that and making them see that, because it's hard, right, for kids to feel like they've been giving up on and abandoned by the people that's supposed to love them the most. So yeah, so it can relate. You get those 2 o'clock calls of mental health where they're struggling, and you're that person that, you pretty much
are their point of contact.
Yeah,
okay.
so I play a guardian role in their life. They're a ward of the state. So with me, with my job being a caseworker, we pretty much, we are the people that are there to help them transition to life. As a social worker, we attend the school meeting. We attend the IEP meeting. We are the people that help them set up for therapy for school. And really, you are that one person in a team of people that are just temporary in their life. And you're hoping to help them build support to go then in the world and be better and, not fall back into the system, because it's an easy cycle that they can easily come back through. So I just really... And I think with my job, I go hard. I go
so hard. Like you think, oh, that sounds like hard work. But for Vanessa, it's heart work.
Yeah.
And she gives from the heart. And I don't know, I can tell when someone is serving me out of duty.
Sure.
And it feels different than when someone is serving you out of love. And I think that's a big reason why you got that award, is because you love these children and you can relate to them on a level that so many people can't.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so you're changing the world, you're helping kids, and you meet this very charming entertainer from Vegas. I would love to hear that story. What brought you two together?
She's so patient. I'm a lot different than I was when we met. So
no, we met at Salt Lake Community College. They had a student ward back then. It's 2007, 2008.
She met at church.
I met at church.
Okay.
So I was like, when you first move out to go to college, and I was one of those people that's like, I'm only going to go to Sacrament today, testing the waters, And so I was like, I'm not going to church today. My friend like, no, just come. So I sat outside and church was over, and I was like, I'm going to go say bye because I'm going to go visit my family in Tooele afterwards. And then so I walked in, and this is where the story get a little different than what he'll say. Okay,
two sides. Okay, we're hearing your side.
I walked in, and then all I see in the corner of my eyes is somebody. The movie slow motion running, and the chairs are big. That was Yahosh. She was running slow motion,
right toward you.
Yes,
okay.
It was my first Sunday in Utah. My family had moved to New York, and I was coming to go to Salt Lake Community College, and so I just dropped off all my stuff, and I was going to go back, but this was a congregation that I wasn't sure if I was going to join or be a part of, and so when I saw her, I was like, oh, I have to meet her. I don't know if I'm ever going to see her again, And so people were really nice. And I was like, it was nice to meet you. And I'm trying to get to her.
You were locked on a target. Yeah.
But these rows of chairs, there was no aisle. Like, who set these chairs up? And so I'm just kind of gently moving these chairs to try to get to her before she walks out. Yeah. And I'm like, hello, how are you?
Yeah. And so, we met in church. And then
I was a lot cooler than that.
So it was good. We were the best of friends for a little bit. And then I kind of tricked him to date me. So yeah.
No tricks.
And then, we've been to 15 years. June was our 15-year anniversary. And
married 15 years.
4 kids later. And
4 kids later. So what's the age range? Three boys and a girl, right?
3 boys and a girl.
Okay.
We have a 13-year-old. Well, they all have birthdays in August. So we have going to be a 14. Except for the little one.
The baby.
Oh, so you got a busy month coming up.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. A 14-year-old in August, a 10-year-old girl, which run the house and have Yahosh wrap around his fingers.
She's the sweetest.
Yeah, that's how it
Shout out
goes.
to my princess.
And then we have Nehemiah will be 8. And then Craig is 2. So
okay. So you guys are in the thick of it.
We are in the thick of
how's
it.
it going?
It's good.
You're surviving.
We it's a party. we shoot for about 75%. So if we get 75% done of what we are supposed to or get done,
that's a win.
That's a win for the
day.
Yes,
absolutely.
For the day.
Awesome. Well, I would kind of love to hear about, this is the ZuLoo Poodcast. We talk about sanitation. We talk about, what's working and what's not working around the world. Haiti is a unique place. There's a lot of things happening there right now. Ever since the 2010 hurricane and earthquake. Was it both or just one?
You got the earthquake that happened first.
It was a lot.
And then the hurricane. Yeah.
I remember at the time when all of that happened, I was actually living in Panama.
Wow.
And so it seemed, even though it wasn't close, it was closer than I'd ever been to Haiti. And it was just on the news constantly. And it was heartbreaking what was happening there. And it just felt like it felt like a hopeless situation. And then Sean Penn shows up and we're like, okay, Sean Penn's going to come in and whip things into shape. And I'm sure he did his best, but obviously, currently politically there's a lot of unrest and there's a lot going on. This morning when I was looking into it, I just can't help but thinking, can you imagine being a parent in that situation and just dealing with the day-to-day, helping your little ones go to the bathroom, having to deal with some of that yourself. Where do you find the clean water? Vanessa, what was your experience? And can you speak to the sanitation conditions from when you were growing up and what you've observed, since you've been back as an adult?
Yeah. So, Haiti, that's my home. I love it. I think growing up there, when you grow up there, you don't see anything wrong with the way that things are.
It's just the way things are.
That's just life. You don't know any better. The things that we see on TV, it's like we enjoy the entertainment, but we don't, it's kind of like, oh, this is life. This is what it is. I think sanitation is a big deal. In Haiti, we don't have running water all the time. Certain area, of course, the kind of like class, right? There's the lower class, but a lot of people don't have running water. So we have to go and, walk miles, wherever we live to go get water. So then that means like the bathroom is kind of like an outhouse, right? That you go in. So it's not necessarily sanitation. It's not clean, but that's what, we had the best on. So I think, I feel from what I've heard, I think if we can give everybody like the opportunity to have running water and have a, toilet that runs properly. I think that, first of all, women's health, and the children. And then you see when you think of the children right now, it's hard, especially right now with the devastation that's happening, and so when
it didn't just start after the
even before that,
before that,
So for us, me growing up there, I think unless you go to like a church building in the city or cleaning houses for people that come live from abroad there, the everyday Haitian doesn't have a bathroom in their home. It's more of a, outhouse.
Like a community outhouse that you're all sharing.
Yeah. And so that in itself can cause a lot of issues. But I think sometimes it's like, oh, that's not the priority, right? Because there's more. There's people going without food. But then it's like, but if you can get that one thing, right?
Sure.
And change it, maybe that can help other people. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's, you brought up women's health. We know that this kind of a thing affects everyone.
Yeah.
But especially, I can imagine being a young girl, you're going to start menstruating. That proximity to a restroom and to have it be safe and to have it be clean is paramount.
Mm-hmm.
And yet that's not the case for many of the girls there. I think it's really hard for us in the States who are so privileged and so lucky. We don't even think about it.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times did I use the bathroom today and never thought about it once?
Yeah.
We are, a little bit later, we're going to go into a story from one of our ZuLoo recipients, it's a really beautiful story, but she talks about the difficulty of being a new mom and not having access to a toilet.
Mhm.
So I thank you for your perspective on that. I think it's really important for us, in the States and to hear we're so lucky.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're so
Definitely.
extremely lucky.
Well, I'm putting this out there. One day, you guys are going to be in Haiti.
Yes,
and
yes,
servicing
absolutely.
our
it's
family in
true.
Haiti.
It's true.
I
Right now it's crazy, but
love
Put
the
it
work
out
that-
in the ether.
Yes, yes.
Let the energy
Love the
start
work that you
working.
guys do.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's really phenomenal, amazing, needed. And yes, it's going to be in Haiti.
Thank you. And now you guys just returned from a trip to the DR, right?
Yes, same island.
Tell us all about that.
It was an amazing opportunity for us. Shout out to Mentors International. They're also a nonprofit organization.
Mentors International.
Yeah.
Okay, what do they do?
Well, they help people build businesses and run business. So it's not like, here's a donation and they walk away. They say, here, this is how you can start your business. This is what you need to do. And then they mentor them through it. So it's really neat because that kind of help doesn't just help one person, but it helps the family, a generation of people,
Sure.
and then the people that they employ. And so it was really neat to see a lot of the work that they were doing. They've also partnered with the giving machines where people go in December or end of, was it in
November,
around
probably
Thanksgiving?
right
Yeah.
after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and people purchase things like fruit trees, or they purchase goats and chickens, and we were able to deliver some of those gifts.
And it was really
fruit
great
trees
to
and
see
things like
because
that.
we went to one of those like lower, poverty area, and then these women, like one of the shelter we went to was a women's shelter, and this is women that have been trafficked, and then the sewing kits, and then so in the shelter they teach them skills such as sewing and pharmaceuticals. So then they teach them those skills so then they can go out there and be able to do a job that will, that's going to help them with their family and their kids. And so it was really great to kind of see, like.
And you guys brought your kids.
We did.
What was, do you
That
feel
was
like,
the best part. That was the most
what was that
important.
experience like? Do you feel like you could see kind of that awareness, that exposure of like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, as parents, like we want, they're gonna have what's better than what we had, you know.
Of course,
and we push, and then all of a sudden, our kids are expecting these things that we couldn't even have dreamed of having.
It's amazing how quickly that entitlement sets in, right?
I remember, like,
we did this right? This was a good idea to do well.
Because as a parent, you say, like me, I said, that's like, well, my grandma grew up in poverty, my mom grew up in poverty, I grew up in poverty. So now that I have the chance to raise my kids, I want to be able to give my kids the best life that they can. But then you watching them, and then it's just like, well, oh, no. Like, especially for me, because the way I grew up, and I'm like, I want them to appreciate. And I remember there were a moment where we finished down at the shelter, and then we walked to this place. And me, I'm used, like I grew up in Haiti, so I see these things all the time. But we went in a place where you can tell there's like no power, no outage, and
unpaved road,
and then trash everywhere. And our kids, we had to walk through that to go deliver, to meet one of the women that was a recipient. And my kids, their eyes were just like people live like this, like people, and my daughter, I remember when we come back, she's like, I'm so grateful for what I have. And I think that was the moment, like with this trip, I'm like, oh, that's why we brought them. You know what I mean? To see, just like we were saying earlier, to see that people, we forgot sometimes. We can forget that, we're so lucky here. So it was great to see their perspective and see that there's another, side of the world that people don't live like we do.
Yeah.
So.
That we, like, what we have is very rare and unique, and we're very privileged.
Yeah.
I think travel, when that kind of circumstance is really, really important. Yeah. So you guys get an A+. That was a 100% day. Good job.
We're there for a week.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, so good.
Well, I would love to jump into a story from one of our ZuLoo recipients. Her name is Shailaja. It's really great to hear these stories from the people who are benefiting from, I mean, it sounds so simple, but a toilet. That's close, that's safe, and that's clean. It actually is life-changing in every single way. Mm-hmm. This is Shailaja's story.
Shailaja is a resident of the emerging Venkateshwara colony of Hyderabad, India. She has 2 daughters, Shalini, 5 years old, and Manchika, 3 years old. Her husband is an auto driver in town. As they had no toilet of their own, during her second pregnancy, she asked her mother to come and stay with her, so she could avoid leaving her daughter alone at home whenever she had to venture out to the open defecation grounds to answer nature's call. At the time, her mother refused to come, as she felt vulnerable and awkward having to go relieve herself out in the open. Shailaja expressed to us that during her pregnancy, she would often restrain herself, holding it for many hours while she waited for her husband to return home from work. This led to her developing gastroenteritis and other complications during her pregnancy. Prior to receiving a ZuLoo-sponsored toilet in their home, she invited her relatives to visit for her daughter's birthday. However, many of them, including her sister, refused to come visit due to the lack of a toilet, not wanting to go in the open fields even for urination. Her husband attempted to build a makeshift toilet for the family, but he lacked the skills and materials to make it work properly and sustainably. Shailaja said she was often depressed and frequently argued with her parents and husband for putting her in this situation. Shailaja said, "When I learned that I qualified for help to receive a toilet from the ongoing ZuLoo water and sanitation program in my village, I felt a ray of hope that grew into a bright light of sunshine in my life. Now, I proudly tell all my family relations that I too have a toilet at home. Thanks to the support of ZuLoo and SEPED, I will always be grateful to ZuLoo and its donors, partners, customers, and supporters. Deep within our hearts, we will always be praying for your well-being."
Wow, what a story.
I know.
And I think the beauty of that story is it's like, sounds like for us, it's like, oh, it's just a toilet, right? But for some people, it's more than just a toilet. She being pregnant, like you say, with 2 kids and having to hold that and then getting sick. Like I said, it's mental health. Like that.
Yes.
Not only that, but it's just like her woman's health. And I think it's just the little things sometimes it's what, matters in that's beautiful.
Man,
Yeah.
I think it's just marriage is hard enough as it is, Yes, and you're arguing about that
layer.
Man, geez. What an amazing woman, and I'm so glad she was able to be found or reached out to make life easier for her and her family.
Well, and when you think of the social implications, the familial implications, that people wouldn't come and celebrate her daughter's birthday with her.
Yeah.
I mean, the
my
isolation that comes from
Something
that.
that
Well, I remember growing up.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, there was 8 of us children in one house. We were living in Las Vegas, one of the homes that we lived in. We had 1 bathroom. And that was a point of contention.
Sure.
Because I had a sister that was always in the bathroom. It was like, we got to use this. Get out of the bathroom, And so I'm sure the relationships are so much better just by adding a toilet.
Yes.
You don't think about that.
Yes, absolutely. My ex-husband and I had plenty of fights about the bathroom, in the bathroom. So switching it up a little bit, this is something we do once in a while that it's like one of my favorite parts of the podcast. But I have so many fantastic near miss bathroom stories or total miss bathroom stories. And we've heard some great poop stories from other guests. If you have one, this is the time to share it. This is a safe space. We love this stuff.
Oh, wow.
And also no pressure.
So is that why I didn't get the questions beforehand? Suzanne?
Yeah.
Darren, what's going on here?
Yeah, we like to put you on the spot and make you really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I think even after having kids, I think any mom can really, you can't
yes,
hold it
yes.
longer than it is. And remember one time, I was I had to go pee so bad. And I was trying to hold it. I don't know where we were. And I was running. And I was just like, I think I just peed myself.
Yeah. Not 100%.
I love how you guys you have your decorations. You got ZuLoo Poodcast. Oh my goodness.
It's okay, Yahosh.
You have to know what you're walking into.
It's okay, Yahosh. Just share it.
Oh, she already knows the story that you should share. This is great.
I used to go to summer camp. I'll share one from childhood. Okay. I used to go to summer camp every summer. And we had like in the cabins, there wasn't everybody. We had our group, they called it the pagoda.
Okay.
And then down it's called the squish. Where and they both were like a half, like a quarter mile away. And so I just struggled to get there at night. So I'm like 12 years old, wetting my bed, and I don't know if it was a conscious or subconscious thing. It was a long time ago. But I just remember waking up and my cabin mates being like, man, it smells so bad in here. I was so embarrassed.
And you're like, yeah, what is that?
Yeah, they knew when they walked by my bed, man.
Yeah.
Just the sense of like, it's just so embarrassing.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't have, I wish I could have gone. But, at least I had that. At least so many people have to walk miles or, can't just get up and go. And me, just a 12-year-old, like, I think I'm still sleeping. Am I still sleeping?
You can blame it on not being conscious. Yeah. That's a pretty endearing story. Yeah, not super embarrassing.
Not too bad.
All right. Well, I want to thank you both again for joining us today.
Yes.
It's been a blast chatting with both of you. Really appreciate your perspectives and, the exciting things you're doing with say it again, the
Mentors International.
Mentors International.
Yeah.
Okay. Shout out to them. And thank you both for being with us. Again, I'm going to put you on the spot one more time.
Uh-oh.
In my deep dive on Yahosh, I found a beautiful video of an a cappella version of Stand By Me. That was
really?
Oh my gosh!
I don't even remember seeing that.
It's real.
You
It
got
happened.
so many things out there, so that's probably why.
But would you grace us with just like a verse? I mean, your voice is so beautiful, and I know I'm putting you on the spot, and it's early, but
Yeah, morning singing is always the best for singers. See,
let's hear those exercises.
You got it.
All right. You got to send me this link because I don't remember ever singing this. This is the debut of my rendition of Stand By Me.
Dancing. Oh, it's so cute. It's so cute.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. All right, that's good.
Oh my gosh.
I was ready.
The
for
energy
the
that just came from that was phenomenal. I hope that came through the waves. That was
pretty
beautiful.
impressive.
Thank you. I know you weren't expecting that. You're a good sport. All right.
Thank you for all that you are doing, and getting the word out there. Because I think if people know and they know how they can support, everybody deserves this service.
Yes.
Every human deserves this. And so to be a part of something so important and great, thank you for the work that you guys are doing.
Yeah, that is pretty amazing. It may seem so little, not as important because we have it and it's part of our life. But
just remember your moment. We all have that moment.
That moment.
But we missed it. Or we almost missed it.
Yeah.
It was painful. It was embarrassing.
Yeah.
People deserve to be able to go to a clean, safe, and close restroom.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So thanks for
Thank you both so much. And we will see you guys next time.
Thank you for listening to the ZuLoo Poodcast. Follow us on social media at our links in the show notes below. To learn more, visit our website, ZuLoo.org. If you liked the podcast, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. For even more ZuLoo fun, send us an email with your toilet stories to podcast@ZuLoo.com for a chance to be featured on the podcast. This episode of the ZuLoo Poodcast is sponsored by ZuLoo Inc., a benefit corporation dedicated to the goal of universal access to toilets, hygiene, clean water and sanitation through the power of social enterprise. Learn more at ZuLoo.com.